Hello everyone, I'm Ira Mariel Felix and my groupmate Naomi Pesedaño will be the representative of Group 7 to discuss the DepEd Order number 44 series of 2021 or the policy guidelines on the provision of educational programs and services for learners with disabilities in the K-12 basic education program. Now, the objectives of this discussion, we will discuss the significance of DepEd Order number 44 series of 2021 and delineate the following laws and commitments that was implemented. So, the DepEd Order number 44 series of 2001 is the policy guidelines that provides an overall direction and guidance in the organization, management, and implementation of appropriate programs, services, and intervention for learners with disabilities at the different levels of governance. So this series provided an overall framework programs including the madrasa education, special education, alternative learning system, and special curricular program. So the madrasa education is to provide Muslim learners with appropriate and relevant educational opportunities. The special education provides accommodation that addresses their individual differences, disabilities, and special needs. The alternative learning system, it provides a practical option to the existing formal instruction for those individuals who can't access formal education in school. Now, the special curricular program, it provides different curriculum standard for diversified field. So these are the following laws and commitments. First is the 1987 Constitution to protect the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and to take appropriate steps to make such education, meaning to say that in Article 14, Section 1 of 1987 Constitution, it is a law mandated to access every individual to quality education based on the normal standard of DepEd by which individual has the right to be protected and the right to be involved in such institution. Also, in 1987 Constitution, Article 14, Section 2, in maintaining an integrated system of education, the DepEd should maintain access for quality and sustainable education depending on what is relevant to the needs of the people in their society. Next is the Republic Act number 9155 or the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001 reiterates the above constitutional mandate of the state and vests DepEd with the authority, accountability, and responsibility for ensuring access to promoting equity and improving quality of basic education by means that the RA 9155 was mandated to promote equity, meaning provides people with the resources that fit their circumstances. Because we know that inclusive education can affect groups based on the race, gender, and many other factors. And the DepEd wanted to practice in resolving it in terms of equity and equality of the student. Now, what is the difference of equity and equality since we're talking about promoting equity? So, in short, the equality is generic. It focuses on a group and equal treatment, while the equity is adaptable or individual focus and fair. So the RA number 10533 or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 that creates a fundamental basic education system that will develop productive and responsible citizens equipped with essential skills and values that making the inclusive education an imperative. So the RA 10533 are the fundamental laws that ensures moral purpose in education by means making a difference in life chances of all students. It also implies learning accessible. Therefore, the RA 10533 is the act focuses on enhancing basic education to quality and imperative educational system. Number 4, the implementation of rules and regulations of RA 10533, inclusiveness, enhanced basic education, the implementation of programs designed to address the physical, intellectual, psychological, and cultural needs of learners. So the implementation of rules and regulations of RA 10533 helps the students to be disciplined and make the school orderly and maintain the quality of the school and enable students to behave well inside the school premises. So number 5 is the RA 10533 basic education is intended to meet basic learning needs and encompasses kindergarten, elementary, and secondary education. So this act of enhancing the Philippine basic education system by strengthening its curriculum and increasing the number of years for basic education. Just like the K-12 program, so the DepEd added 2 years for basic education to enhance the quality of educational system here in the Philippines. So that's the RA 10533.
Let's continue to the number 6, the RA 10533 in 2013, Batas Pambansa BLG 232, or the Education Act of 1982. Mandated the state to promote the right of every individual to relevant quality education regardless of sex, age, creed, socioeconomic status, physical and mental conditions, racial or ethnic origin, political or other affiliation. So Batas Pambansa BLG 232, or better known as the Education Act of 1982, provides the latest and more specific provision on rights, duties, and parents' relation to education. So the provisions under Rule 11 and 111 of the law will enhance further the promotion to discipline in the educational communities. So what is Batas Pambansa 232 all about? The right to form, establish, join, and participate in organizations and societies recognized by this school to foster their intellectual, cultural, spiritual, and physical growth and development, or to form, establish, join, and maintain organizations and societies for purposes not contrary to law. 7 is Presidential Decree on 603, or the Child and Youth Welfare Code 1974, provides for the right of children to an education commensurate with their abilities and for the development of their skills for the improvement and of their capacity for service to themselves and their fellow men. It is mandated to coordinate the implementation and enforcement of all laws, formulate, monitor, and evaluate policies, programs, and measures for children. Number 8, the Convention on the Rights of the Child 1989. The Philippines is a state party, also embodies a universal commitment to advance children's rights, including the rights of children with disabilities. So the Convention on the Rights of the Child sets out the rights that must be realized for children to develop to their full potential. The convention recognizes the fundamental human dignity of all children and the urgency of ensuring their well-being and development. Next is Convention on the Rights of the Child, to take all necessary measures to ensure the full enjoyment by children with disabilities of all human rights and fundamental freedoms on an equal basis with other children. Article 7. Number 9 is the Convention on the Rights of the Child in all actions concerning children with disabilities. So the best interest of the child shall be a primary consideration. States parties shall ensure that children with disabilities have the right to express their views freely on all matters affecting them, their views being given due weight in accordance with their age and maturity on an equal basis with other children, and do provided with disabilities and age appropriate assistance to realize that right. Number 10 is the Section 12, Access to Quality Education. The Magna Carta emphasizes that persons with disabilities have the same rights as other people to take their proper place in society, and their rights must never be perceived as welfare services by the government. So access to quality education, or the Section 12, the state ensures that people with disabilities have the proper access to quality education and the full opportunity to develop their skills. The state takes into account special needs of people with disabilities in developing education policies or concepts and programs. Next, or the last one, number 11, Section 14. Special Education. Under the Magna Carta, the state has the duty to establish, maintain, and support complete, adequate, and integrated system of special education for the visual impaired, hearing impaired, mentally retarded persons, and other types of exceptional children in all regions of the country. And toward this end, the DepEd shall establish special education classes in public schools in cities or municipalities. So number 11, the special education, or the Section 14. Toward this end, the Department of Education, Culture, and Sports shall establish special education classes in public schools in cities or municipalities. The national government shall allocate funds necessary for the effective implementation of the special education program nationwide. And that's all. Thank you for listening, and God bless.